What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the God of War Ragnarok story trailer. So, we finally got it. I really thought they were going to pull our leg there with just the controller, and I was actually getting ready to tweet how funny the entire situation was, but no, they hit us with arguably the best thing that we've seen about God of War Ragnarok to this point. It was an incredible trailer. So, instead of breaking down every single scene, I'm sure we'll get to some of the bigger things in this trailer, but I also want to talk about how they did it. Like, this was it. To me, this was what they needed to show. And honestly, and I know I've been kind of one to say, hey, I'm okay knowing very little about this game going in, but you gotta show something. And it's just very odd how you've handled God of War Ragnarok compared to all the other PlayStation exclusives, right? That's always been my stance. So, to actually lie still kind of in the middle, this nice little middle point, I'm still there where it's like, you know, this trailer showed us, I mean, we got Odin, right? For those that thought, well, the concept art picture of him wasn't real. No, it was real. You know, that's definitely what he looks like. So, you know, you see Odin, you see the incredible Thor versus Kratos fight, which was insane. The death can have me when it's earned me line. I mean, and then you just, I mean, those are like highlights, right? Those are the big scenes. But you also do start to get a little bit of this outskirt thing, right? Where Kratos is kind of just following Atreus along. No matter what it is, he's going with him because the whole point is just you're there to protect him, but Atreus is kind of worried about you. It's obvious Odin pays at least Atreus, right, a visit to kind of talk to him. The idea of, you know, that they can make their own destiny, basically, that it doesn't have to go down the way it's basically been foretold. Like, these are very critical things, I would argue, about the game. And then you have everything that you visually saw, right? I mean, we saw the different locations. We saw more combat. We saw different varieties of enemies. Again, you can go to, like, the Thor boss fight. So we saw some of the boss fights. Like, in my opinion, this was exactly, perfectly what they needed to do. You got the story without going too far. You got the characters. You got character reveals. You got actual gameplay. You got more locations. And you get a general sense of what the game is going to actually be like. Now, from now, I'm good. I'm actually very good with this. If this was all they did, and something tells me it probably won't be. I could imagine us getting more. You know, the game comes out in less than 2 months at this point. I could imagine like maybe a state of play, like when they do like the one individual game. So maybe you get that in like October for God of War Ragnarok. But I mean, again, like when I'm bringing these up, these are just possibilities. These are not even necessarily what I want. Would I take like a 10-minute gameplay, you know, showcase of this game? Sure. But at the same time, this right here is what I think a lot of us have been asking for months. And I don't really know, because this is kind of, in my opinion, right? This was the selling thing. If you don't like the game or you're not buying the game, there's nothing wrong with that. I respect you. It doesn't matter, right? But if you're getting the game, I really don't think they can show anything else that's going to sway the two sides. Does that make sense? I think love it or hate it or think it's DLC or, you know, whatever narrative it is, this trailer was kind of that final thing where it's like, look, we can show you a lot more in the coming months, and maybe they will. But ultimately, if this trailer you're looking at and you're like, nope, still not for me, I don't think there's anything that the game can show up until release. Maybe when it releases, you know, when you watch people play it, maybe that'll be different. But I don't really think there's anything that's going to change your mind. And same thing, really. Although, of course, like there's that desire that we want more. I don't really think if you're getting the game, right? So, like, I'm getting the game. What else are they really going to do to, like, what are they trying to convince you of? What do you know what I mean? Like, are you going to not get the game all of a sudden? So I think they did it. This was perfect in my opinion. And that's just kind of from taking a few steps back and saying, what did they really need to show? They did it. And then do they need to really show more? No, of course there's that greedy nature of like, sure, show more, but it's also like, no, I'm good with the story here. Story seems very good. Characters all seem very, like, everything just looks good. You know, I'm sure you'll have people still saying the narratives of, oh, well, the combat looks the same, or, you know, whatever people are going to say. But I think this game looks phenomenal, and this is exactly what we needed. Not because we don't have necessarily faith or that God of War 2018 was bad, but just because based off of or compared to other PlayStation games, this one had very little shown, right? They showed very little of this game, and now they haven't really caught up necessarily. Ghost of Tsushima, The Last was Part 2, maybe even like Ratchet and Clank, just kind of recent Horizon Forbidden West. You can go down recent examples. We still saw more by the time the game came out compared to God of War Ragnarok, but it's like, well, I'm not going to demand much more after what they just did here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.